Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel.
Hi.
Today our very special guest is my little sister's girlfriend,
Alysha.
What the heck? This is Alysha, the love of my little sister's life.
You know, if we break up, this is on YouTube forever.
Yeah, because
I forgot that like nobody else knew that Georgia was gonna be there. Like it was like I was talking at her when I said if we break up.
Oh, and well, that's gonna stay on the channel.
Hi.
First of all, Georgia, if I eat con ito, marami ko pendejo. I'm filming right now. You're supposed to be silent audience in the back. You know what silent audience means? Silent. I'm sweating, guys. Are you?
Yeah.
Do I look sweaty?
No, you look dewy and delicious.
Okay, Dewey is perfect. I love Dewey. First of all, how do you identify?
Well, bisexual for like other people's, you know, kind of. Yes. Yeah, but like personally, I don't know. I don't really like too many labels.
So you do it for the public and for the people that need that reassurance of who you are.
Yes.
But deep down, you don't identify with any labels. Really.
Yeah.
Love that. So you grew up in a super religious household.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about that family dynamic and growing up?
Both of my parents are Catholic, and I always lived with my grandparents as well. So like, they are also Catholic from Ireland. They weren't Bible thumping. Is that okay to say?
Bible humping?
Thumping?
Thumping.
Bible thumping.
Bible thumping. What is Bible thumping?
Like, I don't know, like hardcore Catholics kind
like,
of thing. You know, like
really aggressive, religious, Bible, live by the book kind of people. Got that.
But it was very much like, oh, like church is important, like your faith will always be with you, and like everything like that. Like,
you identify as bisexual back then. When was your first crush on a girl?
oh, juicy. The first one, like, I remember was when I was 11.
A little 11-year-old crush?
Yes.
And did you act on it? Did you tell the person that you had a crush on them? Did you?
No, I didn't. It was my brother's best friend at the time.
Ooh, if you're watching.
Shout out if you're watching.
Hello.
That was my first crush when I was 11, and I always kind of just told myself that I just wanted to be like her because she was so much older. So I was like, I don't like you like that.
Crush.
Yeah.
Cute.
But then you know how you can idolize somebody, but there's like the difference because when she would like hug me or something, I got like all flustered. Like I was like,
I'm sweating.
My heart is racing. Yeah. It was a very good feeling, but also kind of scary.
Yeah. And with that first crush, did you ever feel a little bit of shame for having those feelings?
Honestly, no, because like I never grew up being like gay is wrong at that age. Like I don't think I was hiding it from myself. Like I just didn't understand that it was like an actual crush. Like it was just like, I want to be like you. Yeah. And that's just like how it was.
Yeah, I get that. Eeeek, love that. How did you come out to your parents?
For me personally, I didn't feel like I like needed to come out. It wasn't like, Mom, we gotta sit down and I gotta tell you something. I have to get it off my chest.
Brace yourself, I'm coming in hot.
Yeah. No, definitely was not one of those. It was like, well, I was dating my first girlfriend.
How old were you?
16. I went to a party. We kissed for the first time.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, vodka. That was like a situation where I was like, I need to tell my family about this person. I went home the next morning and I was like, hey Mom, I'm seeing someone. Her name's blah blah blah.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom was like, she was like, wait, what? I'm telling you, like, I'm attracted to girls and guys. She was like, you're confused. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me, Mommy?
Can we rewind? And how did that make you feel?
Well, that like immediately crushed me, to be honest, because I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to like come out, but I wanted to tell her like out of courtesy. And obviously me still being like confident and telling her that, I still was so vulnerable in that place. And
100%.
Yeah, so like I definitely felt taken back a little bit.
It sounds like you were so open, and at 16-year-old you were dating a girl. Did you ever face any adversity from other people outside of your family?
No. I definitely see my privilege. And also, because my attitude had always kind of been like carefree, nobody was surprised necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, even my mom now was kind of like, well, if you told me you were a lesbian, well, not now, sorry, she's grown from that, but she used to be like, if you told me you were a lesbian, like just a lesbian, I would understand, because you were such like a tomboy.
Yeah. You came out to your mom, and that didn't really go as you thought it was going to be. You felt super hurt and just like confused by the comment that she made that you were confused.
Yeah.
What was that like after? How did the rest of your family take that?
That definitely caused tension without like my entire family. For like a year and a half, my mom and I's relationship was just like kaput in like a really sad way. Like I was heartbroken, but I was preparing to not have her in my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm gonna move out as soon as I can. I had all these plans.
Was she treating you differently after you came out?
I feel like she was trying not to, but there was so much tension between us after that initial conversation.
Like a lot of little like microaggressions towards who you are and like what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and neither of us like knew how to come back from that, I guess. She's never been homophobic.
Yeah.
Like she's always been super welcoming to anybody. I think she just didn't know how to take it.
Yeah.
When it was her own child. Plus, she didn't like the relationship that I had from her point of view with my first girlfriend.
Yeah.
So many things of how she was feeling that I took the wrong way,
Yeah.
and she took the wrong way how I was feeling.
How did your dad take it?
Well, my dad, I actually never sat him down and like came out to him.
Yeah, you just went for mom. Moms are always the hardest ones, you know?
Yeah. I was like, oh my god. My mom actually ended up telling my dad. But before that happened, we were like all sitting in the kitchen. This was before my dad knew. I think we're talking about somebody else who was like part of the like queer community. And my mom kind of like decided to bring this topic up and was like, well, what would you say if like Jeff, my brother, said that he was gay? My dad was like, I'd tell him to eat dirt. Instead of like stopping there, she continued and was like, what would you do if Caitlin, my sister, said that she was gay? And my dad was like, I would tell him to eat dirt. So then I'm sitting there like waiting for it to get to me, like bracing myself.
Because you've already come out to your mom at this point, right?
Yeah. And so my dad like didn't know, and then my mom goes, well, what would you do if Alysha said that she was gay? And he like looked at me like dead in the eyes and was like, I'd tell you to eat dirt. And I was like, okay. And like I'm daddy's little girl, you know? So, yeah, I was like, okay. So I immediately just like left the room. And honestly, it had like a massive impact on me where I was like, okay.
Especially if your daddy's a little girl too, and you like look up to your dad, and one small thing, the way you love people, that's super hurtful.
Yeah.
Especially when you're young too, and you're just trying to like understand, embrace, and enjoy life. Like that's hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
And I need you to.
Yeah. Just support me. I think after that situation, my mom did tell my dad, because he was driving me to work one day and he was like, if there's something you don't feel like you're ready to tell me, he's like, that's okay. I didn't have the support growing up, so I want you to know like whatever you want to do for school wise, like who you want to see, like anything, I support you, and like I want you to know that. And I was like I was like tearing up as I was getting out of the car to go to work. I was like, okay, Dad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's super cute too. I think that's super meaningful because, you know, you had that reconnection with your dad, and he probably didn't actually mean what he said in the moment. He was maybe just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Not knowing that any of you guys were queer.
No, 100%. Like in that situation, I was more hurt by like my mom asking, knowing about me, than like what my dad said. Your
mom and your relationship for like a year and a half was not very great.
Yeah.
What were some of the conversations that you guys had together?
Well, honestly, for a little bit there was like no conversation really. I was avoiding seeing her. I was like avoiding being in a room alone with her, like anything.
How did she take that?
Not great. Like I think we both honestly shut down. It was just tension building on top of tension. Okay. Hard conversations are important to have, everybody.
100%.
Yeah.
And just have them. Don't wait.
No, otherwise it gets worse. But then it kind of got to a point where we were like having a screaming match at 1 a.m. in the car. And I was like, the way you're doing this, like you make me feel like I'm not loved. And then she took such offense to that and was like, I always tell you I love you. Like, what do you mean you feel like you're not loved? That conversation went nowhere.
No one really listening to each other's perspectives.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we 100% were just like stuck in our own feelings and couldn't get out of there.
Being defensive, yeah.
Because this had already been like a year of it.
Wow.
So this was just like a massive blow up where we both were so far in our own feelings that there was like no room to even recognize another person. Eeeek.
So after that blow up, what happened?
Then things escalated. It just got worse. Like, it just got terrible. My mental state was down the drain. From 11 or 12, like, I was having mental health issues. Get diagnosed with depression. Welcome to 7th grade.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. It's okay, it happens, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't have a great mental state to begin with.
Yeah.
The relationship with my mom, like, deteriorating completely was, like, over the edge for me.
For sure. Especially having, like, a rock, like someone you see as rock of your family and that has loved you so much before, and just because of this one thing, like, they cannot come around or accept or get over their own feelings to just embrace you for who you are is so hard on your mental state.
Yeah. Now, like, having connected with my mom, like, years later, and our relationship is so strong, I do understand that, like, it wasn't ever her resenting, like, that part of me. It was just literally, like, the smallest thing of a lack of communication. Like, having no conversation at all of how we were feeling.
Yeah.
And in her head, it was me coming out and then having, like, this whole other life because I'm dating this girl now, and, like, that's where all my time is going. Because I don't talk to her anymore, and I never told her then that what she said hurt so much. So it was me just shutting down, her just shutting down, and us just not taking, like...
And standing your ground and not just working through it together.
I get that from my mom.
Yeah.
Very hard-headed lady.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
No, I completely get that. I think communication is key. Uncomfortable conversations, as you said a little earlier, those are so important.
Yeah.
They help us grow. Every challenging experience is a learning opportunity. So I can 100% see how the two of you not connecting and just not empathizing with each other on, like, what each of you is going through, because for your mom, this is a completely new space or something that is quite new to her because it's one of her kids, and for you it's a completely new space too. You're just like, I'm just trying to love a different human being, and I'm not being accepted for that. So
for sure,
yeah,
it was even more confusing because I just felt this way about this person, and I was like, wow, like, I haven't felt this way before, and I'm just gonna kind of go with it. But I'd never actually had, I was like, well, whatever, I'm gonna go with it. But I never had that actual conversation with myself before leaping into this relationship, being like, do I like girls? Like, it was just like, I like you, and you happen to be a girl.
You're the connection I want to create, so I'm just gonna follow that.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, so I never had that boosting confidence of, like, already having that conversation with myself. My mom was one of the first people that I had, like, that conversation with besides myself, like, before myself. So it was like, it definitely was hard to hear that.
Yeah, I get that. And how did you fix it with your mom?
So flash forward, our relationship is just deteriorating. My mental health, bad. She set up, like, counseling for me. She was like, I'm gonna have, like, a suicidal daughter if I don't do something about this. I had my first appointment, like, booked, and that day I was like, no, like, I had already gone to so many counselors in my life. I was like, I'm done. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that was, like, the day I was like, I'm not gonna make it to this appointment. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna make it to anything else again.
Part 2 is right around the corner. Tune back in, because next week Alysha talks to us about how her mom becomes her saving grace or superhero, how their relationship blossoms into something quite beautiful, and how the two of them reconnect and create a bond like they've never had before. Her mom's starting an amazing LGBTQ program at the church, and some of the major lessons that Alysha has learned along the way. So tune back in next week so we can learn a little bit more about Alysha and her journey. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment, and I'll catch you next week. All right, ciao for now.